Hey y'all, it's Andrew Reed with Mossy Creek Mushrooms, and today I come to you from the foundry where we have our first grow room actually having been activated today. Samantha was in there just a minute ago cutting blocks open, so it's kind of exciting, guys. Actually, it's more than kind of exciting, it's really exciting. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. Today, I want to talk to you guys about, well, liquid culture lids. I'm going to show you how I make mine. I have trialed many different styles of lids. I have trialed many different things, and I will tell you what I like best. And there is a ton of room in this subject matter, we'll call it, to tons of room for disagreement. There are going to be people who are going to disagree with me on pretty much everything I say. I recognize that. I will tell you my reasons for why I like this stuff. I like to tell you my reasons for why I'm liking what I'm doing. And you guys can feel free to do it any number of ways that you want. I guarantee you, if you go into the comments, there'll be 1,000 different other ways to make lids in the comments below. So, coming up with that. There's a few things that you're gonna need to make my style of lids. Actually, before I get to those few things, let's talk about why I chose this style of lid. So, as you guys can see, I'm back to the metal. The metal. You can't kill the metal. Alright, now that I've had my little random geeky aside, you can see here that we're using a metal lid. This is a wide mouth jar. I prefer wide mouth jars for liquid culture work for a number of reasons. The main one being how easy they are to clean for my big fat fingers after the liquid culture is done. How easy it is for me to retrieve stir bars, how easy it is for me to do any number of things. Typically when I'm working with like regular mouth, it's because I'm worried about like you want a narrow mouth when you're working in a place that's not quite so clean because you want less open area for contaminants to get in. I'm not worried about that with this. So I like to go with something that systematizes easily to my dishwasher, to my hands, and easy for me to produce. So now, the reason why I'm going with this, metal is a little more difficult to work with than the plastic lids. But what they don't tell you, plastic lids do not normally seal to the jars. They are actually there for, the white lids are freezer lids. They have a small air gap to allow air exchange for, I don't know why. I don't know why you would need an air exchange when you're freezing stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Just know that it does, and every time I see people having massive problems with liquid culture and they're just starting out, it's because they're using those white lids without the rubber gasket. Now the rubber gasket looks like this. That rubber gasket has caused me so much grief. So much grief. It is one of the big annoyances of the past few months of working with liquid culture. There's a few reasons why on that as well. Let's say, number one, they're really difficult to get screwed on perfectly, right? Every time I do it, I'll look up and there'll be a little kink and you have to unscrew it, reset it, re-screw it on. It sucks. It's annoying. Then, think about it when you're working with agar, right, in the lab, and you open up that jar, and the ring falls into the liquid culture. Now what? You're gonna fish it out with your fingers? Sterile scalpel, right? But now, you have a sugary, sticky rubber gasket, and that's fine, but you're gonna be sitting there screwing that back on. Now, after you got the agar in there, you've got to screw that thing back on without it kinking again. And sometimes you can't even tell that it's not perfectly seated just by looking. So you have to turn your jar over a little bit, try not to get in the syringe filter, and when it's turned over, you have leakage. All right, well, you just ruined your liquid culture, you know, congratulations. There's a number of things about those rubber gaskets that just drive me insane. I'm done with them. I hate them. I don't want them anymore. What's really cool, these metal lids are made for canning. They already have a high temperature seal built into them. Now, there have been a couple of people that have told me that they use RTV silicone and just do it inside the white lid, that's acceptable to me, but this, I don't even have to do that. That is already pre-made. So that is one of the reasons why I like those particular lids, or that's a reason. That seal is so amazing. Now, another reason, they're cheap. They're so dirt cheap, the metal lids. They're everywhere. You can get them anywhere. Ball jars, cur jars, every other type of jar manufacturer has those metal lids at the vans. They're just everywhere. I like off-the-shelf components as much as possible, and that is an off-the-shelf component for sure. So there's that. Number two, with the drill press, I actually find that metal is way easier to work with than the plastic lids, just in making the lids. That said, there's a couple caveats to that. If you're working with a drill and not a drill press, the metal lids suck. They do not, they'll catch a lot of times, they become spinning little blades of, you know, death to your hands. It's not the most fun thing in the world. That instance, plastic is better if you're working with a regular hand drill. But if you can get a drill press, I think 60, 70 bucks at Harbor Freight will get you a small drill press, plenty enough to do this work. And I know that that's 60, 70 bucks is kind of expensive right now, but the ease of use, I mean, I pumped out 100 lids the other day by myself in no time flat with that drill press. So now, with that in mind, let's talk about a couple things you're going to need. Oh, and another thing, guys, people always talk about the rust. I get that rust is an issue. This is going to get chewed up. These eventually go bad. This lid is practically disposable. You know, I will be offering these on the website. They're like $5 a pop whenever I'm selling them to you. I recognize you can make them way cheaper. I am only going to be selling them to people who don't want to make their own. I'm showing you how to make make your own for free. So, you know, there's that. But even at $5, actually, let's talk about that for a second. This right here, this gasket, or not the gasket, this self-healing injector port, it's the red kind. Don't buy those stupid gray ones. Those things suck so bad. They get chewed up so quick. These red ones last, I get 40 syringes that go through out of a quart jar. It is worth spending a little extra change, literal change, to get the nicer lids, to be hassle-free. You're getting 40 syringes out of a quart jar. Like, that's plenty. You're worried about the end product, guys. You're not worried about saving time, or maybe you are worried about saving time. You're not worried about saving money on your lids. Who cares if your lid is the most efficient, if it's the cheapest lid you can get? Who cares when you're making 40 syringes? How much does, if you buy one of my syringes and then inject it into your own jar and you get you turn that one syringe into 40 syringes with sugar water, that is mind-blowingly cheap. Mind-blowingly so. I'm not even making that much money on lids when I'm selling them. I'm selling them as just kind of a service. Actually, kind of a service to encourage more liquid culture sales. So there's a little trade secret for you. But that said, guys, pay attention to your lids. It is the problem I see that people have the most trouble with. It's the single lid. And this has been the most hassle-free experience I've experienced. I use syringe filters. Instead of polyfill. I hate the polyfill. I know a lot of people swear by it. I don't even know, like, Lenny swears by the polyfill. I hate the polyfill, or maybe it was Tyvek he uses. It doesn't really matter. People use Tyvek, people use polyfill. Why? I don't have to struggle with this syringe filter. I buy it. It's less than $1 per syringe filter. I think the syringe filter and the self-healing injector port are something like $1 between them, $1.50 maybe. And it's so hassle-free, it's so easy. So now that we're there, let's explain about how to make them. I've kept you waiting long enough. Now, of course, you're gonna need your syringe filters. Your syringe filter should be 0.22 UM. I don't actually remember, was that micron? It could be micron. I'm so tired right now, I cannot remember. But 0.22 is what you're looking for, not 0.45. I'm getting these off Amazon. They are pink and they do the job really, really well. So these are what I've been happy with. They survive pressure cooking just great. And you can get multi-packs of them. Now the next thing you're gonna want is your self-healing injector ports. You can get both your self-healing injector ports and your syringe filters from Shroom Supply. I highly suggest you do. Use code Mossy if you do. It saves you 10%. I do not get a kickback from Shroom Supply. He did that just to help you guys out. 10% off your order, and it's practically free shipping. These orange, or red, orange, self-healing injector ports are the bomb. They are so much better than the ones that I've used where I made them myself. They're so much better than the gray ones. They hold up forever. They're from vacuum containers. I've actually been looking, sorry Ryan over at Shroom Supply, but I've actually been looking for somewhere where I can purchase these in bulk, and have not found them yet. But it doesn't matter, because like I said, it doesn't matter even if I'm paying what I'm paying to Ryan, because I'm getting 40 syringes out of a jar. So it ends up being so much better to just go ahead and buy these. I just bought a pack of 100. Hey baby, did you try to hide again?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting a chair.
Getting a chair. Drinking some mate. So now you have your self-healing injector ports, you have your metal lids for regular mouth or wide mouth, whatever you're using, and you have your syringe filters. Now, a couple quick things for the drill. I find that this right here, what is that? Can you see it? I'll try to do a close-up of it for you guys. This right here is a Forstner bit. This is a 1/2-inch Forstner bit. This works perfect, as you'll see here in a minute, for your self-healing injector ports. Punches right through the metal lid, easy, no burrs, and your self-healing injector port will just pop right into the lid pretty easily. You'll have to fidget a little bit, but it's not big, and it creates a perfect seal. No RTV silicone there. Now, after that, you're gonna need a, what was this, 13/64? It says 5.2 millimeter. It's 13/64, I think. That's what I've got on the drill right now. And I wanted to show you the kind of bit that I'm using for that. These, those, yeah, there we go. That is a brad point. That is a brad point bit. Finding a 13/64 brad point bit was not too difficult. I did have to do a little digging, but it's not bad. They're more expensive than other drill bits that I've bought, but they work great. And I'll show you how that one works. I'll show you how each one works. So what I have been using, I actually got this directly from Ryan, is just like a regular pointed drill bit. And it worked great, but it kept leaving these burrs constantly that were hanging off, and I'll try to show you on the video. As this was spinning around, I would take the lid upside down and try to clean the burrs off with this, and it does work, but it's a little bit more of a hassle compared to the brad points. The brad points are, man, they made my life so much simpler. The brad point Forstner and the brad point just drill bit. After that, guys, you have pretty much everything you need. There is one other thing I would suggest. Let me grab it from over here. Anyone who makes their own lids is going to be familiar with this. It's just RTV silicone, high temperature gasket maker. And this stuff works great, cures overnight. I try to usually give it 24-hour cure time. People make their own self-healing injector ports out of it. People make all kinds of stuff with it. The way that we make our lids is I sit down and I take my stack of lids and go through one at a time, bam, 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 with the 1/2-inch Forstner bit. And I do it right on the edge, just inside that little lip that you can see. And you'll see it just pumps out really easy, one after another, after another, after another, after another, till you have a stack. Then I take all of those, turn them around the other way. You're going to want to bring it in a little bit closer to the center because your syringe filter has got a wide disc on the top. Just go down, punches right through again. Something about safety. I have found that when working with these lids, the best thing to use, beyond your regular PPE of like safety glasses and stuff, which I'll just use my sunglasses, my safety glass sunglasses, whatever. These are fish handling gloves I got from Walmart. They have Kevlar on the bottom, and they're not made for this, so caveat, these are not made for this. I'm not recommending that you use them, I'm just showing you that I use them. They're grippy, so they allow me to grip my metal lids really easily, hold on to them, and then work the drill, and that keeps stuff from slipping so much easier, and where I can just move fast. I've also had the lids take off spinning a couple of times, where the Forstner bit comes up and kind of catches, and as this thing spins, man, I've had that. I mean, it's made to take fish spines and stuff. It didn't cut it at all. So it is easily one of the cheapest pieces of PPE I've bought, and most effective. So you've punched your holes for your with your Forstner bit. You've punched your holes with your brad point bits. So now you're ready to start putting pieces together. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. And I'll show how to do this up close as well. Take that. See, I've already got my syringe filter there. You can see a little bit of RTV silicone. We'll get there. So I take this and I pinch it, and then I'll slide it into one side of the hole. So like that. See how that is? Just like that. And then I'll just push the other side through. A little bit harder to do when I'm not looking at it, because I normally have it turned the other way. But you can see now that it's fully through. So now I just take it and I'm putting pressure on one side, and I just work it out like that. Just side to side, and you'll feel it click in. Bam. Then it's in the hole. That's a complete lid right there. So that is really easy to do. I did one here where you can see with the, I put two in, this is not gonna be a working lid. You can see that this has a smooth side. And then a Luer lock. That smooth side is the one that's going to go in the lid. So just like that, I put it through the top. So what we normally do is we'll take RTV silicone, run it right around the ring here, just a small bead. Take it like that. Oh my gosh, so much harder. And that's going to go right in there. So hard to do through, well, looking at the camera. Take it. Push through. I usually take it both ways and make sure that it's good in there. But you can see the lip. See, the lip's in there. That is now very tight. And with the RTV silicone, it's going to hold. And I'll put the lid upside down and let it sit overnight. And then the next day, we're good. We're very, very good. Now, this one's gonna pop out because this wasn't done with the brad point. Like that. But I did one earlier with the brad point. It's number 3 in the montage. But I have so, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that hurts so bad. It won't come out. It's like, let's see if we can get it in here. Without any RTV silicone, that thing is a perfect fit. No RTV silicone whatsoever. You can see there's no red. And these brad point bits, I just got them in the mail yesterday. I'm liking them so much more for the liquid culture making. Now, we have that done. Your lids, after they sit and cure for 12 to 24 hours, you're ready to put your stir bar in, your sugar in a jar, and close that lid up, and bam, ready to make your liquid culture. Now, why don't we just make a few real quick so you guys can see what it's like. All right, y'all, so I reckon that you guys can see that it's pretty easy to make your own liquid culture lids. I don't think you need any more than that. I just pumped out, I don't know, I ran out of syringe filters, so I'm waiting on the next shipment of those to come in. But I don't know, I probably have 100 already made up. So it's really easy to pump these things out. Of course, if you don't have a drill press, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. You can use punches. I've seen people use metal punches. One thing I will say that I forgot whenever I started making the video, and you'll see this in a couple of things, I did go back and correct it a little bit, so maybe I will put in some B-roll where I messed up there. But put the self-healing injector port on first, then put in your syringe filter. It is so much more difficult to put in the self-healing injector port when you're trying not to knock around that siliconed syringe filter. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, guys, you know, I'm going to try to list everything down below in the links in the description. And as always, you know, you guys, whenever I offer anything for sale, it's there for you guys if you want it. The lids are there for anyone who doesn't want to fuss with making their own. I've already talked to you guys about my way of thinking on how value extraction works. You know, you're worried about the end product, so you want to, how much do you really want to fiddle with something you don't have to fiddle with? How much do you really want to save money on a piece of equipment that is really, really cheap, even if bought, and ends up making you so much value in such a small space with so little effort? So even if you don't buy my lids, I would go through, and if you're gonna make your own, do not skimp on the parts. Do not skimp on ones that you purchase. Make sure that if you're gonna build them out really, really well. Your lid is going to be the most important thing, especially if you're working without a HEPA filter. If you're doing this in the kitchen, which I plan on doing some kitchen LC videos with you guys, but if you're doing this in a kitchen, you're not gonna want to have a skimped lid. You're not going to have something that you didn't put your best effort into. And who cares if it costs you a couple bucks, $5, if you're getting 40 syringes worth out of it. Heck, I've got some half gallons going now because you guys are ordering so much liquid culture. Holy crap. But I've got half gallons going now. That same lid fits on a half gallon, that fits on a quart. So you guys are blowing me up. I've had to expand out. Think about how important that lid is. Just always keep that in mind. Any decision you make in this business, keep in mind the end product and the end value extraction. That's what you want to focus on till you level up. Once you level up, like at the warehouse has opened up so many possibilities for me to lower my costs in so many different ways, but don't force it. Don't force it. Maximize your value extraction. Even if you're just a home grower, maximize your value extraction first, then work your way backwards into saving money here, saving money there, that kind of thing. So, as always, y'all, remember to hit that like button. Oh my gosh, I almost ended it without saying it. Please subscribe so that you get more of this awesome goodness, you know, that I create for y'all. And, you know, it's kind of nice being able to do videos from the warehouse. Let's keep doing this. By the way, we named it the Foundry, so doing videos from the Foundry. And with that, y'all, as always, keep spawning culture.